I titled this video 5 ways specifically a masculine man can attract high value women, quality women, okay, without talking or even trying. What you have to know before I flip this screen and show you exactly how to do this, this is not clickbait. This is a video that I have wanted to make for the longest time, and it's not clickbait, and here's why. When you would hear that and you go talking or trying, well, if I'm not going to talk or try, there's no way I can attract any women at all, and sexy women would never want me. That is complete garbage, and here's why. Talking oftentimes puts you in a state where you're not focused on doing. And what I can show you is the exact masculinity traits that it will take in order to attract the type of women that you want. And if you can do these 5 things in your life, you'll have to put in far less effort and far less work, so stick with me. Now, MBT Celeb Spotlight for today is going to be Marcus. Marcus came into MBT, which is my mentorship. You can check it out in the description, but he goes, whoever is in week 6, be careful. This is some serious stuff. It will have girls coming to your house without warning. Meanwhile, then he shows me the text messages. This girl is already booking flights coming out to see him. This is the power of MBT. This is why I created masculine behavioral techniques. After this video is over, 100%, go down below and check this out, because thousands of students have been using this to literally live the life of their dreams with amazing women. Okay, these 5 lessons that I'm about to show you will work drastically better if you live by and abide by the principle or the motto or the statement that I've lived by my whole life, and the statement is this: women talk and men do. If you understand that, okay, and as harsh as that might sound, I don't care, because that's why at the bottom of each of these 5 points, I literally have the words do something. And you're gonna see how this ties into everything when it comes to your masculinity to attract the types of women that you want and actually get ahead in life. That's for a second before we can actually talk about any of these. All of these are far easier to do if you step into your God-given calling and your God-given purpose. And later on, I'm going to explain why. The very first, seriously, stick with me on all of these. Like, for those of you who you're tired of swiping on online dating and you don't get any matches, for those of you who are tired of going to clubs and bars and I swear, I'm trying not to swear. You're tired of doing all that to go and try to get girls and it doesn't work, stick with me, because this works way better. The first thing that you want to do, okay, the first way to attract women is by having a good physique. And you have to get your health and your body on point, because your biology and your makeup of who you are, like, seriously, like, if you're fit and you're lean, you have to understand this. A picture says 1,000 words. If you've been in the gym for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, it shows dedication, and it shows that you can put in 1,000 hours. It shows that you are not lazy. Women do not like lazy men. Women do not like men who are in a sloth-like behavior. There's going to be friends, and I know that you have them, that sit in their apartment all day and they play video games and they smoke and they don't do anything productive with their life at all. When you are in that sloth-like behavior, you have to understand this. This shows that you cannot protect. A woman wants a man who can protect. The fastest and best way to show that you can protect to just the naked eye, if you're walking down the shopping mall, is if she looks at you and you have muscle mass and you look fit and strong and able. That is the fastest way to trigger attraction. Now, if you can couple that with having probably like good fighting skills, such as like boxing or taekwondo, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, wrestling, that is great too. But that should be coupled also with you having strong physical appearance and muscle mass. And the reason being is because to the naked eye, without saying or doing anything, what that symbolizes is that you have a byproduct of what a good physique is. She can see that. She can physically see that looking at you. So this shows you can protect. This makes you look more masculine. You're now proof of concept of success, and it also shows passion. Okay, a woman knows looking at a man, like if you've put in 1,000 hours in the gym, 2,000 hours in the gym, this shows that you're passionate about something and you can stay with something. She knows that to get a good physique, you were sore. You went to the gym even on days you didn't feel like it. You stuck with it. You didn't give up. You weren't just a New Year's or a weekend warrior. Like, believe it or not, women like these things. Women, like, it shows a man who's ambitious and he wants to improve and he wants to take care of himself. When I was younger, in my younger years, I was ashamed of this, because these are traits nobody really had, and I was ashamed of it because I was like the only one in my whole social circle who was into that. The older I get, the more I thank God every single day that I was born the way that I was, because this has paid off so much. A woman will look at you, and if she can just say he's hot to some degree, that is going to help you tenfold. And that's why most guys simply can't even get their foot in the door, is because they have not put the time to build in their aesthetics, build in their muscle mass, and look lean and dial in their nutrition. Now, I'm going to tell you this. If you can do this one thing instantly, this places you above other men because you look sexier. And here's the fact. I believe, okay, if you can build a body and maintain it, You can literally crush anybody. And when I say crush anybody, what that means is you can crush anybody in business. You can crush anybody who's trying to improve their charisma. You can crush, like, people treat attractive people or people who are semi-attractive or more attractive physically better. If you read like Influence or Persuasion by Robert Cialdini, he talks about this instantly, how like in advertisements even, people will respond to ads that have attractive people in them more. So here's what I can tell you. The reason why you can crush the competition in any way, shape, or form is because let's say you wanted to go build a business and improve other areas in your life. Like, dude, you already know how to put in the 1,000 hours. You already know how to stay dedicated. You already know how to improve. This one element alone has copy pasted into, like, this is the only way I was able to post 750 YouTube videos in a row, is because I know what it's like to sacrifice for thousands of hours in the gym. So I believe that this is drastically important. You are treated better. What does this boil down to, though? This is not boiled down to game or seduction tactics or any fake mumbo jumbo bullshit. Okay? What I mean by that is women talk and men do. Do something. If you have a good physique, you have done something, you're building yourself in the gym. That's number one. The second way that you can attract women and be a better man, okay, is through social proof. Well, what do I mean by social proof? Okay? You want a reputation in life. 100% you want a reputation. You want somebody to be able to look at you, whether it's through your career, through what you do for a living, through your business, whatever the case may be. You want a reputation where somebody could look at you, like if someone looks at me, I want them to associate me with, like, that's the guy online who is the masculinity guy. You want just a few key words that symbolizes what you're about. So you want this reputation, and here's the fact. You want your reputation good if possible, okay? But bad is better than no reputation at all. Now, when I say a bad reputation, you don't want to do anything crazy to where it's like illegal and it's so negative that like people don't like you at all. But what I'm saying is, like, it's good to have people talk about you, and here's why. There's a saying in business that goes like this: where attention goes, money flows. It is the same with women. Where attention goes, women wonder, I was intrigued by you. Okay, I heard XYZ about you. Is that true? She starts to initiate the conversation, and she starts to initiate the what if factor in her head. This is something most guys can't trigger because, once again, most guys aren't doing anything. This is why I'm telling you, you have to do something. If you do something, you will get ahead. So let's take this at a deeper level. What men oftentimes will worry about when they try to improve their social life or their like word of mouth or their reputation or just their improvement journey at all is they worry about haters. They worry about other men who want to drag them down, or they'll even worry about other women talking negatively about them. Do not worry about haters whatsoever. Literally not at all. Here's what I can tell you, okay? If men ever badmouth you, they automatically look insecure. There's been numerous times where I've seen, oftentimes like a group of men will be with a group of women and they'll badmouth a specific guy, and then all of the women will start to put their attention on that guy that they badmouth and start to wonder about him and instantly want him. Because any reputation is better than no reputation at all. So having lots of people who know of you proves once again that you do something. How do you acquire social proof? By doing something. This might be you're the world's best carpenter. This might be you're the top producing real estate agent in your town. This might be that you're the best car salesman. This might be that you're the best online digital Facebook ads marketer in your hometown. This might be that you're the best at giving sales presentations. This might be that you're a great public speaker. This might be that you are a college athlete and you just won an NCAA title. I don't care what it is, you need to find your thing. And the reason why I told you earlier that this is so key to step into your God-given calling and your God-given purpose is because you can't be everything at once. You can only be you. And if you listen to your internal voice, you listen to how God speaks to you, you will naturally find your masculinity journey, and you will naturally find that you are called to do something big. Okay, my journey is going to look different than yours. What happens is so many people watch their favorite influencers online and they try to replicate. Okay, when you try to replicate, you have to understand this. You will never be able to speak like me, just like most people will never be able to speak like Patrick Bet-David, just like most people will never be able to speak like Elon Musk. Everybody is unique. What you have to do is step into your God-given calling that makes you you. I hope that this makes sense. If it does, comment below. If it doesn't, let me know so I can improve, because I'm looking to refine my craft too. Do something. That is number 2. Social proof is key. Okay, the third thing that is going to probably disappoint some of you, but you have to hear it anyways, is accolades. Accolades are ridiculously important because women want winners. Any award shows success and victory. And this is extremely masculine, and he who wins the competition is he who typically gets the girl. You need to make life a small competition with oneself. But notice, I said with oneself. See, this is the thing, is like when people hear this, they think that they need to go compete, and they're competing against all the other men. I'm going to tell you this, if you compete only with who you were the day before, if you compete only with the man in the mirror who you were the day before, I will tell you this, you will now be competing only in an industry of one, which is between you and yourself and you and your God-given calling. And on top of that, you will start to surpass other people if they are in your field naturally because you weren't even giving them attention or competing with them in the first place. You're only competing with you. I genuinely mean this. This helps so much. So I'll give you 2 examples. Like, I don't post on Instagram very much, but if you want to follow me, my name is Casey Zander. That's my only official account. The 2 pictures that did the best was my 2 accolades. So I won a ClickFunnels award way back, which was doing over $1 million in 1 year in sales through one product, okay, through one specific thing. So I took a picture of that award and I didn't really say anything. I just posted it. Tons of engagement. Same with my YouTube award that I posted. Tons of engagement. There was tons of like men too that were commenting and saying great job, but there's tons of women who are hearting the photo, commenting, direct messaging, saying congrats. I'd get comments like, hey, you know, congrats, or I saw it from the beginning. And what you got to remember is like, these women would have never done that in the past until they saw that there was accolades and proof of concept. And it doesn't just work on like a super big accomplishment like that too, which like for me, that was super big. Like, I'll give you another example. I have a friend who's in the real estate industry, okay? And here's what happened. Literally, my friend, he updated his real estate profile picture on Facebook. He was wearing a suit. It looked a lot more classy. It looked a lot more professional. Here's what happens. He posted that. He got tons of follow requests from women. It looked pro. It looked like he was a symbol of authority. It looked like he had some sort of accolade or some sort of victory. It doesn't have to be anything big, but you have to position yourself where you can win. And that's what I'm telling you. You can, like, if you try to win and you try to compete against every other man in the entire world, you're going to be sorely mistaken and probably sad because it sounds way too daunting and it's going to raise your anxiety. If you compete with only who you were yesterday, like, you will win. So like for me, when I got my YouTube award that was 100,000 followers, to me that was super big, but to a different person who has 1 million subscribers, that might not be anything like that. That might not be a very big accomplishment. However, what I can tell you is this: I'm competing only against me. So my next stop is now I want the 1 million award. And it's just to show myself that I can consistently do something. The grind never ends, okay? When you show success, it requires work and no talking. That's the thing. You don't have to talk in order to get the girl. You become the byproduct of what masculinity is and should be. And it shows that you can go and win in life. So once again, what's the message? Do something. Men do. You have to be a builder. You have to start creating. You have to be a builder of your own life. What is number 4? Number 4, this is one that is not talked about very often, and this is a true come-up story, okay? Women love a 0 to hero story when all odds are stacked against you. So if you are a person where maybe you had a bad upbringing, maybe you had your parents who were divorced, maybe there's some sort of abuse as you were a kid, it doesn't matter what it is, lean into that narrative. There's so many men who what happens is they adapt this BS victim mentality where they think because I didn't have the best upbringing, or because my parents weren't this, or because my uncle did this, or because I was raised in this environment, they think that that should dictate their life trajectory and success forever, and it doesn't. It's total BS, and it's a false belief. It is a limiting belief. Like, and the sad part about it is it's a limiting belief, but the men who hold on to that belief 100% believe that it's true. And those are the scariest beliefs, are the ones that you 100% believe are true about yourself, but you refuse to change them because you can't see that they're false in the first place. That is a scary thing. You have to be malleable. An adaptive individual who can see the world that will best help you shine. So, if you have a bad upbringing, whatever, lean into that, because when you win on top of that, it shows that you can beat all of the odds. It shows that you have heart. Okay, women love this. It shows that you can grind, and it makes women feel safe. If a man has not went through any adversity, if a man has not went through anything challenging, if a man has not went through anything harder that's made him more structured and strong and dominant in his own life, do you understand that it's extremely hard to really look at him and know like if he can tackle the tasks of the day-to-day world or not? When you're a guy and you've leaned into that, no matter how bad your upbringing was, like there's people who have recovered from alcohol, from drugs, whatever the case, and went on to be successful in whatever they do, this shows that you have heart. So handling adversity and winning shows competence. It shows you're a smart SOB. It shows you're a smart guy. It shows you're tactical. It shows that you can win. So this competence breeds confidence. This is why the whole idea of pickup is total BS, because what you're telling a guy to do is you're telling a guy to be confident and say the smooth right thing to the girl in the right way that's going to trigger attraction, and learn these things to speak to her the right way when you don't probably have the competence in masculinity to back it up. Therefore, it feels incongruent, and that's why you have a bunch of who think about only their words and what they're saying, when in actuality, if they focused on the things that make the man, they would make the woman feel the right things naturally. So that's what you have to understand with this, okay? If you come from a childhood that's very cookie cutter good, if you come from an upbringing that's very comfy and cozy, that's fine too. All I can tell you is this: make your current environment harder. If you lived in a classic 2-parent household, mom loved your dad, dad loved your mom, no fighting, no chaos. If you went to a great school, you were never picked on, you were never bullied. If you had great teachers, if you always got A's, if you were always patted on the back and rewarded by your coach, if you lived in that situation, in that scenario with zero adversity, congrats, you probably had a great life. But here's what I can tell you: you probably need to make your environment harder. Wake up at 4:30 a.m. every day and start going to the gym. Wake up and start tackling hard tasks. Wake up and start winning. And the only way to do that is to suffer. A man has to suffer in certain areas to get ahead. Once again, motto of this: do something. Your come up story shows you can do something. What is the fifth? The fifth pisses a lot of men off, but you have to know it and you have to understand it at a deep level, is resources. Write this down on a sheet of paper so you stop neglecting it. All women love money. All of them. I don't care if they are self-proclaimed gold diggers or not. I don't care if they're your typical girl walking down the shopping mall. All women love money because money is a safety net. And women like a man who can protect and provide, and that includes resources. That makes her feel safe. You will not fight her nature or her biology on that. You're just not going to. It brings a different level of security and comfort. Now, is it the only thing needed to keep a woman? Absolutely not. You still have to be able to lead her. You still have to be able to potentially lead a family. You still have to be able to protect. You still have to be able to seduce her and make her feel good if that's your woman that you genuinely love. All of those are important, but I'm going to tell you this: having money isn't going to hurt your situation. So, the world just made it taboo for women to publicize it. Just because it's taboo for them to publicize it does not mean you should ignore it. You should accept it. What I can tell you is this: get enough money together to create an environment that any woman would want to come into. This is super key. You can build a sick life even making 5 to 10 grand a month if you spend it wisely. So one of the things that I did that made my whole social life and dating life better a couple years ago was I bought a brand new pontoon. Okay, the payment on it is $550 a month. Not that bad, but now I have a way to actually interact with people, host parties, have people out to go do something. That is an environment that would look cool to a girl. If you own your own home, that looks cool to a woman. So you don't have to make a crap ton of money and be a millionaire. What you should do though is you should pick just a few specific things that are resources, that are fun, and that have activities, and that shows you have a potential social life of abundance, that shows that you actually have a life probably outside of just your regular job and who you are. You have things to do. Money is super important. Money makes women feel safe. Don't look at it as a negative, look at it as a positive. Resources in all ways, shape, and form. Money, owning specific things, owning assets, owning property. Once again, it shows competence, it shows success, it shows victory, and money equals safety in the eyes of a woman. Women love this. But how do you acquire resources? You have to do something. And that's why I keep telling you, when you step into your God-given calling, money follows mastery. There's been millionaires who became millionaires from throwing a football. There's been millionaires who became millionaires through fighting in the UFC. There's been millionaires who became millionaires through rapping or through singing. There's like in any industry, in anything, you can win and you can crush. But you have to understand your God-given calling so that way you can only compete against yourself in an audience of one, which is only you. And you're only competing against who you were the day before because you have a different life and a different life path and a different life trajectory. And no one else's is better or worse. It's just different. And the hand that you were dealt, you can succeed with that hand if you truly believe. If you like this video, I want you to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.